What's going on, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another episode of After the Buzzer, the show where I recap the NBA games from the night. First one of the new season. Really excited to be back with this. If you're new to the channel, I do these videos almost every night throughout the regular season, more often than not, where I break down the games, some of the best performances, the storylines, and everything in between. So if you're looking forward to that, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, leave a like and subscribe, helps the channel out a ton. Today we're talking preseason action, gonna make a few of these for the preseason. This one had to be done because tonight we saw Victor Wembanyama face off in his first preseason game against Chet Holmgren, who also playing in the preseason for the first time, of course, missing the entirety of last season due to that injury, and it was an amazing game. This is one of the most fun preseason games that I've ever watched, and partially that is because I'm a Thunder fan. I've been looking forward to this a ton. The debut of Chet in Paycom Center, where we play home games. You know, Case and Wallace coming into as a top 10 pick. How do those guys look? How does the rest of the young core look alongside those guys? I've been really excited for this moment. Shea didn't play in this one, but it didn't matter. I was super hyped, and of course, getting to see Vic play as well. Chet facing off against Vic was at the center of this whole matchup. It's what everybody was talking about all day, and over the past few days leading up to the matchup, everyone's kind of taking a look at the battle of these two young bigs who are two of the guys that are the future of this position. They're likely going to battle it out for Rookie of the Year. One of them will probably win it. Scoot's also up there in the top three in my opinion, but they're going to be two of the top three contenders. And this first game, this first battle between the two of them, even though it's preseason, was a great glimpse into what their battles can look like in the future, where again, I think eventually they'll be two of the best bigs and two of the best players in this league. And like I said, there was a lot of hype going into this. This didn't feel like a normal preseason game. There are a lot of national media pages posting all about Chet and Vic when one guy finishes over the other one or one knocks on a shot, what their stat lines look at particular points, just highlights in general. There was a lot of attention on this game, and again, it delivered. Statistically, let's talk about what each of these guys did. Chet put up 21 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist with 1 block on 7 of 10 shooting, 2 of 2 from 3 in his 16 minutes. And Vic, over his 19 minutes, puts up 20 points, 5 rebounds with 2 steals and 1 block on 8 of 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3. Both of them were really good. Chet only played the first half. Vic played a little bit into the second half, but not much. They weren't going to play much. It's a preseason game. It doesn't really matter too much. The Thunder won, if you're wondering about that. But in the time that they were there, both of them made incredible impacts. They were both amazing. I'll start with Chet and then transition over to Wemby. I'll talk about them each, of course, in the others parts as well, because they were tied all throughout this game. Chet comes into this one, again, making his actual rookie debut in a preseason game because he didn't play it all last year, and I've been super excited for this moment, and getting to see him make this debut against Wemby was exciting, but I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to see from Chet. Was he going to play it a little more low-key? Was he going to be aggressive? Was he going to stand out or just, be that defensive anchor that makes a couple cool offensive highlight plays here and there, but for the most part just chills defensively? He stood out completely. He was amazing. If you ask me, I think he was the best player in this game. It's very close between him and Vic. You can pick whichever guy you want, but Chet was incredible. Again, 21 points, 9 boards, an assist, and a block, 70% shooting from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. He was great. Defensively, I think everybody knows Chet's going to be great on that end. He only had 1 block in this game, but he had so many other contests that were the altered shots. He was big around the rim. He prevented guys from pushing him out of the way. He held his ground on a number of bigs trying to challenge him down low. He was altering shots, just deterring guys from even going into the paint and really just mucking up the Spurs offense at times. In the first half, they began kind of strong, but by the second quarter, Chet really settled in with his presence and was phenomenal out there. Him, Dort, Case and Wallace was out there too. J-Dub, Giddy, defensively, they completely clamped up, and Chet was the center of that. I mean, quite literally, but he was the anchor. Chet was amazing out there, but we kind of already know that. We know Chet is going to be great defensively, or at least I do. If you know a bit about Chet, you probably know that as well. But offensively is really the question. How good is he going to get on that end? And if he plays anything like he did tonight throughout the season, Chet's going to be a monster immediately. It was a number of ways he was affecting the game, and he did it all within the flow. Sure, Chet and Wemby were kind of going at each other here and there, like they were trading buckets, but it didn't feel unnatural. It felt like both of them were operating in the flow of their offenses. Chet running a lot of pick and rolls with a guy like J-Dub or Josh Giddey, being a lob threat, which finally the Thunder have a guy like that. I've wanted as a Thunder fan For so long, I've been missing a lob threat. Chet is finally that guy. His first bucket was a really nice finger roll as he cut through the lane. He had an and one where he finished straight through Zach Collins, fell to the ground, but was able to maintain his body control and put the shot up and in. He had one bucket where he missed and then got his own rebound and battled back up to put it back in. Like, he was not avoiding contact. He was physical. And then the 3-point shooting, you see him out there knocking down both shots. The first one, Giddey whips a pass to him in the corner for a 3, which was a great well set up play. And he shot with no hesitation, which I love to see from him. Other one, he comes down transition after Vic hits a 3 on the other end. He's trailing, he gets hit and just immediately pulls up in rhythm, shoots a 3, knocks it down to look super fluid. Chet really is a unicorn out there. Bigs aren't supposed to be as fluid as he is, as dynamic as he is. Be able to step out and just hit rhythm 3s like that, it's not normal. And Chet is going to be one of those guys that kind of changes the way the big man position is played. It's a revolution that's happening now, and Chet is a result of that, and I think he's only going to further it. He was amazing. I think a lot of people have forgotten how good Chet is going to be because it's been a year since he got drafted and he had a lot of hype. He was great in his first summer league, and second one he was also great too, but he was, again, a little bit more in the flow of things. But this game shows me an example of what he can be. He's not just going to be this boring rim protector. Chet has the potential to truly change how this Thunder team looks, how we operate, both defensively and offensively. He makes such a big impact. I've been saying it for so long. He's the perfect piece to fit in with this team, and you saw it all on display in this game. Chet is going to be so good. He's going to be one of the best players in the league someday, a depoy type guy. And if the offense comes along like this, the league needs to be terrified of not just Chet, but the Thunder as a whole, because again, he is that puzzle piece that really we've been missing this whole time. Chet was amazing. Let's talk about what Vic did in this game. Again, refresh at the stat line: 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block on 8 of 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3. He's an alien. I mean, the stats don't do it justice. What Vic was doing out there, it doesn't look normal. It feels like I'm watching a basketball player from the far future when Vic is out there operating. He was incredible. Defensively, again, he only had 1 block, but he had a couple of steals and a number of contests that just did not make sense. Like, a guy out there that makes things so difficult. If he's on you in the 3-point line, he will play off a little bit so you don't blow by him, but he's got such a long wingspan that he still gets a ridiculous contest on you. There's one time where J-Dub tries to take him off the dribble in the perimeter, and he still blocked the shot despite J-Dub getting a great crossover, having a really long wingspan, being a great finisher. Like, he got Vic off balance. It just doesn't matter because a guy like that can recover with ease. Offensively, you really can't even contest his shots. It doesn't matter when he goes up there and shoots. It feels like the ball is 30 feet up there in the air. When Vic shoots, like I said, knocked down a couple of 3s in this game. Had some big body buckets down low. One where he went through Chet and finished for the and one. Kind of headbutt him a little bit, I will say that. But all in all, still a bucket, still a strong take. One take in particular where he goes up, Chet gets this perfect vertical contest, yet Vic is still able to go like up and under and finish. It was one of the most absurd finishes I've ever seen. Just did not make sense. Chet, again, had a perfect contest, but Vic was still able to make it happen after the spin move. Just, again, alien. It's stuff that we've been talking about for so long with Vic, how it doesn't feel like he should be possible. It's not a basketball player that makes sense. There's a reason he has all this hype. He lived up to it in this first game. Again, completely transformational type of player. Every moment that he was out there, and kind of same thing with Chet, they were both continuously impacting the game, whether it was offensively or defensively, really going to change how their squads play. They were both phenomenal. Vic, great. Loved what I saw from him. Again, really looking forward to seeing these guys battle. They're going to push the big man position forward. Going to be 2 of the best bigs in the league for a long time, 2 depoy type guys, 2 top players in the league. This is only the beginning. We are going to see these guys battle in the Western Conference for so many years. If the Spurs continue down this path of rebuild, which I think is really promising, if the Thunder take the leap that we could potentially see them take this season and maintain that, these are going to be 2 of the best teams in the West for a really long time, in my opinion. And Vic and Chet are going to be at the center of that as 2 guys who I think will be dueling for years to come. It was so much fun to watch. If you didn't watch this game, go back and check out the highlights, because again, it was a joy to experience as a Thunder fan, as just a basketball fan in general. These 2 guys are going to change the big man position, how it's played. They're going to change their teams, change the conference. This is only the beginning. We're going to see them battle for a while, and this preseason game is a great taste of what's to come. Outside those 2 guys, I want to talk about a couple of other players. Cason Wallace also makes his Thunder preseason debut, top 10 pick for us, guard out of Kentucky if you didn't know. He was great. He's a defensive stalwart, so we saw that today. Not a lot of offense, just 2 points to go with 5 boards, 2 dimes, but 3 steals. He was a plus 19 in his 25 minutes. Had some great defense on Devin Vassell, who got an absolute bag from the Spurs. Shout out to him for that. I think he's very deserving. He's going to be really good. But I liked a lot of what I saw from Cason Wallace. He was also a big piece in the Thunder's defensive turnaround throughout this game. Him, Chet, Dort, who was also great tonight, both offensively and defensively. J-Dub struggled offensively at times, but had a couple monster dunks and defensively looked good. I think we're going to be amazing this season, the Thunder. I think this team's going to be really good pushing to the playoffs. What we did tonight, which I thought was really impressive, was all without Shea, who was, of course, an All-NBA first-teamer and a potential MVP candidate for the next few years. The Spurs got some good performances. I thought Malachi Branham was really impressive. Zach Collins was solid with 15, 5, and 5. Right now, they're doing him at the 5 and Wemby at the 4. I don't know if that's how it should be long-term. I kind of still like Wemby at the 5, but for right now, it was fine. And yeah, this was a really fun preseason game from both sides. Again, you don't want to overreact too much to preseason, but Chet and Wemby may just be two of the greatest players to ever play the game. To wrap up, I want to quickly talk about the Nets, Lakers, and Celtics Knicks games. For Nets, Lakers, I don't have much to say about the Lakers. It's an older team. I like the performances from Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, two guys that they brought back this offseason. Christian Wood, I thought had some fine moments. I'm interested to see what he looks like. Yeah, not too much to really say about them. More particularly, I want to talk about the Nets for a moment. Cam Thomas, great performance from him. 26 points on 9 of 14 shooting in 22 minutes. Cam Thomas needs minutes. He got benched or just was not utilized enough last year when the Nets really needed offense. I think again this year, they're going to be great defensively, but the offense is really going to stagger at times, or not stagger, it's going to struggle. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm sick, if you couldn't tell. It's going to struggle at times. They need bucket getters like Cam Thomas. He needs to play. I really hope he does. He showed what he can do a couple times last season. He showed what he could do tonight. Please give Cam Thomas minutes. Also, Ben Simmons, I thought was solid tonight. 10 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 steal. It's nothing too crazy. You do still want to see more from Ben Simmons for how much he's making. He also shot 4 of 6 from the field, 14 minutes, but he was somewhat aggressive, and I like that. I mean, this version of Ben Simmons we saw tonight was probably better than almost any night we saw from him last season. I'm still hopeful we can see a Ben Simmons bounce back. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm buying stock. I'm going to try to believe in Ben Simmons this year. Maybe it burns me, but I'm going to get my hopes up just a little bit. And finally, for Celtics Knicks, again, don't have too much to say about this. Shout out to Emmanuel quickly. Great in this game. 21 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 3 steals, 8 of 14 shooting. I've said over the summer, I think he's got another level to his game despite already being one of the best bench guards in the league. Really excited to see what Quickly can do in this upcoming season. The Knicks starters, for the most part, played pretty well. RJ Barrett struggled from the field, but I will say he had 9 of 9 free throws, which is promising. Barrett has never been a knockdown free throw shooter. They need him to be better in that regard. For the Celtics, Peyton Pritchard was again pretty good. He was good last preseason game too. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 7 of 15 shooting. He got an extension over the weekend, which is hilarious because he literally publicly requested out from this team last season, but here he is now on an extension, which is good. I think they're going to need minutes from him throughout the season. I've liked what I've seen in the first 2 preseason games. Hopefully we see more of this from Peyton Pritchard, and hopefully he actually gets minutes and can contribute when his number is called. Also, like the moments we saw from Delano Banton. He put up 20 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 8 of 19 shooting. Not the most efficient performance from him, but I like that he was aggressive. He played, I think, 30 minutes. I like that he was involved. I think he's an interesting piece for the Celtics team that showed some promise on Toronto, but could never really find a stable role. Maybe there's a spot for him in the Celtics rotation where, again, they're going to need depth through the Jrue Holiday trades and Kristaps Porzingis deals. They need guys to step up. I think Pritchard and Banton could be a couple of those guys. We'll see. And yeah, those are my thoughts on these preseason games. Let me know down below in the comments what your biggest takeaways were. What do you think of the Chet Wemby battle? Who do you think is going to win Rookie of the Year, if it's either one of them or is it somebody else? Who do you think will be the better big long term? All that down below. Would love to hear your takes. And yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Helps the channel out a ton. And of course, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. I really appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.